Alright guys, Christian over at Infant Car Stereo. Today we're in a B6 A4. B6 runs from 02 to early 05. Pretty much the best way to know if you have B6 or a B7 is, whoops, the B6 doesn't have the ashtray here. I mean the cigarette lighter has it back in the back. The B7s has the cigarette lighter next to the ashtray. It doesn't matter. This will work with, this install is good for 02 to 06, so it'll work on B7s as well. First you need to take out the radio removal keys with the notch facing towards the middle. Metra 86 9001s. So you see on the right side, the notch is towards the right. On the left side, the notch is towards the left. I always give my keys a little bend towards the top, towards the middle, so the bottoms get bent up and the tops get bent down. I got 3 keys on me. There goes the 4th one. All right, so this one we're gonna bend a little 4th down. All right, so the next thing you can put a little spring load over here, pull out. Sometimes it doesn't come out that easy, so if it doesn't come out that easy, pull here, then outward here. Oh, you see, a little issue. The right top one is always a pain. Pull out, do it slow, and it'll slowly come right out. Now, once you get them out, be careful with these keys. They are a little sharp. People say they cut their hands up. You should never, ever, ever have to pull hard enough to cut your hands up. All right. Now I'm going to use this to cover the shift knob, make sure we don't scratch anything up in this car. All right, so you're going to come up, and you can't show you the radio. Let me change angles, I'll be right back. All right guys, now that we're in here, I'm going to show you how to unplug the radio. Now when you come over here, there's going to be your main antenna. Just that pops right off. All right, over here you have the secondary antenna. They're both AM FM. I know some people think this is the satellite antenna, or I don't even know what else you would think it is, but I think I heard Bluetooth antenna once. Anyway, all right, so down here, this is your power connector. In the middle, you will only have if you have Bose. So if you have Bose, you won't have a middle connector, so it doesn't matter. And then over here, this is your power. And over here, this is your display, CAN wires, CD changer port, satellite, all that good stuff. All right, you don't have to disconnect any of these. For a normal install, the only one that has to come out is the top. All right, obviously I don't actually recommend you take these out, because if your radio isn't the factory one, you might have to, you'll have to get the code. All right, I'm taking it out because I'm going to show you how to install it. Makes my install video easier. All right, put the radio aside, and I'll be right back. All right guys, the hardest part about this job is the grounding, and it's not even that hard. This is a Posi Products Posi Tap. So what this does is that, all right, so let's see. This will tap into the wire. I'll show you how to do it in a second. So this is the bottom connector. So the bottom connector is black, then you got brown, then you got the 20 pins. So you got the 8-pin black. The corner over here is going to be the brown wire. That's your ground wire. It's already pierced because I started the video, and then when I started the video, I realized it wasn't recording, so I had to start all over. Anyway, we're going to grab this like this, notch to the right. Then you're going to put the connector facing up. Not connector facing up. I can't even speak English. You're going to put this connector facing to the right, and then you're going to come from the bottom. The reason you're coming from the bottom like this is because if you hook it up, if you put it downward, it's going to hit this when you put in the radio. So we're going to go like that. We're going to spin this way. And what this does right now is this pierces the wire and makes a connection into the wire. Now we're going to unscrew the top. All right, now you're going to put the black ground wire through the non-threaded side. All right, you're going to go like this. And then you're going to put this bad boy in here. All right. And just like that, it fell off. I'm going to try that again. For some reason, this ground wire thing is like my 3rd shoot. It's not. All right, so what happened was the wire, I've been playing with it too much, so it fell apart. So we're going to start all over. All right, so we're going to go like that, put it in through this side. You watch my videos, I always give it a nice tug, and that tug is to make sure something like that doesn't happen once you push it back in. All right, so we put the wire, make sure the wire's touching the metal, pull in the middle. And then nice tug. Makes sense? We're good. And that's how you ground it. Easiest way to ground it, Posi tap, Posi I think 150B or something we call it on the website. All right guys, now before we continue, next thing you're just gonna run the cable out. I'm just gonna run it out to the side. I'll show you why in a second. You can put this box wherever you want. You got a couple options. You can leave it behind the radio. You can get a USB. See, the box comes like this. And then so it has the iPod and AUX connection and also has a USB. I like tucking this under the glove box. You could leave it behind the radio and get a USB extension. You could also get this extension, but the most common way I would say to do it is the way we're gonna do it. All right, so I'm just gonna pull up here and then I'm just gonna push the cable down. Ooh. Actually, I went a little further back. All right, so what you're gonna want to do, pull the seat all the way back, and then you're gonna come around here. There you go. If you come around here, right where the thing is, it's a lot looser than the back. And then when you drop it, it'll actually flow easier. So you're just pretty much pushing the cable down, up along the edge. Alright, and that just comes out like that. Alright, and then you're just going to route it all the way back here. Above that little thing. Alright, and then that's going to end up down there. I'm going to pull this up. Guess you got that covered. Alright, let me show you something about the mute wire now. The way the unit works is you can hook up a mute wire, so when you get phone calls, it lets you know that someone's calling. Just check out the video. This is the mute wire. It comes shielded like this. Now, if you already have a connector behind the radio, the mute wire is the one next to this pin. All right, so it's right here. Okay. Now you can get the yikes. Sorry, this one's already been in and out and in and out. So the sides are super stretched out. Thing's been around. So let me make sure we do it right. All right, so yeah, so you're gonna grab this connector right here and you're gonna make sure the pins line up like so. All right, and you're gonna insert it with the open pins like this. All right, directly under the tab. Now, if you already have one in there, it probably doesn't serve a purpose. They were in there for two reasons, the side connector. They were in there for the factory GPS, not the RNS-E, the little red one that had the joystick down the bottom, and also for OnStar. At this point, I don't think anyone is using either one of those. The maps have changed so much that it probably wouldn't be accurate, but who knows. All right, so the mute wire goes right here. Just like that, okay? So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put up the power on the bottom. See how this is blue is now aiming up? It's shooting up, so it makes it easier to install. This goes here. All right, now this is the black connector that's supposed to go here. We're gonna plug in the Dension into the top row, and we're gonna plug in the 20 pin into the female 20 pin. So the red one's Dension, the black one's factory. All right. Okay. Now don't forget the two antennas. Now, like I said, this side connector, most cars don't have them. Some of the older cars have them. If you're worried about it, you can take it out. You can take out the connector. So I'm plugging the antenna. I'm plugging the second antenna too. I'm not gonna show you the second antenna because it's super obvious. But if you're worried about it, you can take out the pin and remove it, or you can just splice into a wire. There's already a wire there. I recommend cutting the wire, and then taping off the one that goes into the car and the one that goes into the radio, tying into the Dension. But you can do whatever you want. Something's hitting. Something's hitting. Good you saw that. Well, because what happens is the Dension connector was sticking out straight out the back. You just gotta bend it a little. It goes right there. All right, so that's it. That's done. Now we're gonna show you the connections down below. All right, guys, we're into the glove box now. I ran the microphone and also ran the car connection cable. So this is gonna go to the back to here. It's a car connection cable, and this is gonna go to the microphone. All right. So now these units I usually run this way. So the 4 holes I made, I decided I'm only gonna use the outermost holes. I'm not gonna use the innermost holes. Right, these are going this way. Right, if you guys really want to go OCD about it, you can drop the glove box and mount it super nice with screws or whatever you want. But this is a, you know, as far as the shop is concerned, you don't want to charge someone. I mean, I could easily tell someone, hey, it's an extra $50. We got to drop the glove box. It's a harder install, but for what? Let the customer save money and everyone's happy. All right, so just make sure this doesn't get caught up in here. I guess it doesn't really matter. Just unplug that so the wiring doesn't get in the way. All right, and then now I'm gonna go over here. All right. So now we're gonna grab the, that's there. And I always leave it with the serial number facing out. That way, if you ever have any problems, you can read me off the serial number without having to undo everything. All right. I don't recommend doing this the way I'm doing it to tighten it. Use pliers, because if you don't know what you're doing, you might cut it by mistake. All right, that's it, and that's where that goes. Now you can freely plug in a USB in there, plug in an A pin in there, iPod cable. I mean, this is just gonna tuck back here and under the carpet. All right, so you see completely hidden under the carpet, and then the microphone wire, I'm gonna do the same thing and just run it across the edge. And that's it, that's pretty much the install. We're not gonna show you much more. We already did a demo video on this, so that's it. nfitcarstereo.com. My name is Christian. We sell and install. We also ship worldwide. If you're a shop, we also do dealer accounts. If you have any questions, shop or retail, give us a call. My name is Christian, nfitcarstereo.com. Thank you for watching.